So you got the job, the visa signed, sealed, and delivered, and you're about to book a flight to your destination. Please note that once you book your flight, that the airline will be sending you emails either periodically during the period before your flight or a few days before to make you aware of the safety precautions that they've been implementing with regards to COVID-19. What I noticed on my flight was that the capacity of the airline or the aircraft was significantly reduced. In saying that, on my flight from Boston to Amsterdam, there was about 60 people or less than 60 people on the flight. So it wasn't even to the half capacity that they had set, because not a lot of people are traveling at the moment. Before I boarded the plane, I had to fill in a health declaration form and I had to sign it and date it, telling the airline or the Amsterdam government that I do not have any COVID-19 symptoms. If I had ticked any of them as being yes, and some of these are, as you know, fever, some of them are cough and a sneeze. If you have any of those, they will not allow you on the flight. Next is that they do have masks on board, so please make note of that. So if your mask does break, or you feel that it's a bit too stuffy, or you've drooled in your mask because you're sleeping with your mask on, the airline will have replacement masks for you. They are saying that they recommend that you change your mask every 4 hours when you're on the flight, so please take note of that. When I got into the plane, I was handed a little wipe so I could wipe my seat. And also all the middle seats were blocked off, which was great. And I don't mean physically blocked off, I just mean that nobody was allowed to book those seats. But this was great because I love sitting in the middle aisle and on the aisle seat. And I was I could sleep across, because I always have overnight flights. So I could sleep across the aisle, which was great, or matter, which was awesome. Then next is that everybody's going to be wearing a mask on the flight for the full duration of the flight. And please wear a mask. When they do provide you with your food, or they bring the food to you, it is fully covered when they provide it to you. Also take note that you do not have to take a meal, that you are allowed to bring food onto the flight. And this has been the case since before COVID-19. And drinks are allowed on the flight. It's just that the drinks have to be bought after you go through security. With that being said, the flight is just the same as it was before COVID-19. Very effortlessly, your friendly flight attendants who are always offering you snacks. Snacks are limited, so please take note to bring some snacks of your own with you. When you leave the airport, and even when you go there before you board the plane, some of the seats are physically blocked off in the waiting area to enhance social distancing, which is also great. You're not really close to anyone. You will note that people are wearing goggles on the flight, they're wearing screens, and they're wearing masks, and they're wearing gloves. So when I was on my flight, all I had on was a mask and my gloves, but I made sure I had my glasses on at all times, because they said you can get the Rona through your eyes, and I'm not really interested in that life. But then somebody told me I could get it through here, so I was like, oh, you know what, God will protect me. But the flight was effortless. When I was in Amsterdam and I was on my way from Amsterdam to Dublin, I had to fill in a locator form. So I knew about this prior to my flight because I had Googled what was needed in order to get into Dublin. And one of the things was this locator form. This locator form asks for your name, your date of birth, where you're flying from which airline you're flying, any of your contact details, so a cell phone number as well as an email, and then where you will be staying during your 14-day quarantine period. So as you know, some countries are expecting their tourists to quarantine, and this is where I'm currently at right now. I'm under quarantine, so I had to provide that information with them, or for them, sorry. Then next is going through immigration. So you need to have this locator form with you, which you do get on the airline or on the aircraft, or you can print it before you go onto your flight, which is what I did. You need to have that, as well as all supporting documentation that will prove to the government that you're going to, that you're either there for work, or if you're there as a tourist, that you don't intend on staying there and working there illegally, and that you will return to your home country, or that you're moving on to a different country. since you are going for a work permit, or sorry, for a work visa, or going there for work, make sure that you have your work permit there. Make sure that you've discussed what you need to tell the immigration officer with your visa sponsor or with your employer. If you're going to the States, please make sure that you have your ducks in a row, because they do ask a lot of questions. They want to know what makes your skills so relevant. They want to know where you'll be working. They want to know about your qualifications. So make sure that you're confident, that you're not too nervous. Go in there with a peaceful spirit. And I am absolutely certain, because I've gone through this so many times, that you will be absolutely fine. Now, the airport is a different story, because I have never seen airports this empty in my life, especially in the States. Amsterdam airport still had quite a few people traveling through it, but in the United States, the airports are basically empty, which is fascinating, because as a traveler, I've never seen this before. But it's also comforting, because you know that social distancing is being practiced and there's not too many people who might have the virus that's around you. So I hope and pray for all the best for you on your journey. May you have a successful trip. May you get into your country with ease, and may you have an enjoyable flight. God bless.